Okay, folks, you are my 169 lab students this semester, so I thought I would kind of walk through what you could expect to see in Moodle before you get started, so that maybe it cuts down a little bit on some anxiety. Although I assume a number of you have taken the 168 online course and lab, but maybe not all of you, so this is kind of what you should expect to see. So when I log into Moodle, this is what I see. It may look a little different compared to what you see since this is the instructor's view, but it should be similar. So I'll go in and click on this course 169-620 lab. And the first thing you'll see is the course information. Really what you're concerned with course information is to read the syllabus. So make sure you read that first and then to actually take the syllabus quiz. When you click on the syllabus quiz, you'll see a few questions. I think there's 7 or 8 in here. Oh, no, 9 in this one. But pretty easy questions. If you have the syllabus with you while you're taking this, should be pretty simple for you. The point here is you absolutely have to take the syllabus quiz before you see anything else in the course. And also, if you notice, this syllabus quiz, the due date is set by the distance learning folks and not me. And so they set the due date as January 15th. If you wait until January 15th to take the syllabus quiz, you're already going to have missed the due date for the first lab that's due. So I set my due dates at usually like 11:59 on Friday nights. So this first safety lab is going to be due on the 10th, which is Friday. And so if you haven't taken the syllabus quiz yet, you're not going to be able to see anything else in the course, and so you're going to have missed that first due date and not even have realized it. So make sure you get in and take that syllabus quiz as quickly as you possibly can so that you can see the rest of the course. When you get into the rest of the course, so if I go look at the safety stuff, for the first couple of weeks I try to give you some kind of detailed explanations about things. And then I'll taper that off because you'll get into the kind of the feel of how I like things done. But what you'll have essentially for every lab is you'll have a PDF file that's instructions. And so you'll just click on that. It'll open up and it'll talk about the lab and give you some information about the lab. You should consider the PDF to be your lab manual. And so I'll give you a new PDF every single week. And then also what you'll have are lab questions. And so again, this is usually a Word document, right? So you'll open that up. And for this first week, it's a pretty easy one, right? It's simply just walking through some safety stuff, and once your signature and a date, you can type that in here, no problem. Make sure you include your name, right? And so once you've done that, then down here are where you'll submit your answers, right? And so you'll click on that link. It'll open up in Moodle and allow you to submit a file in there. One of the ways I set up Moodle is that it'll only let you submit one file, not multiples. So you need to make sure you put everything in to one file, right? And what do I mean by that? Well, after you've done the first week, the next week will open up, right? That'll be the endocrine lab stuff. And so endocrine lab is kind of a paper lab. It's not going to be one that you're going to have to take some pictures on. So let me actually just go ahead and go to the blood lab one. All right. So with the blood lab, you're going to be doing some simulated blood stuff, and then you're going to actually be doing a blood type with an Eldon card. And so with both of these, I'll just show you the simulated PDF just to give you an idea. I don't know why they put a frog on there because we're not working with reptiles. But what you'll see is as you work through this simulated blood typing, it's going to have you do a number of things, and it has this little camera icon. Anywhere you see a camera icon, you should be taking a picture somewhere in there, and it'll tell you when to take those pictures. And even if a PDF does not tell you to take pictures, I want you to take pictures, except for the very first lab, which is that endocrine lab, which is a paper lab. Everywhere else you should be taking pictures. Why? Because that lets me know that you're actually doing the lab and you're not just answering questions without doing anything. So you need to submit pictures to me. Right? And so if I go in and I open up the lab questions for that simulated blood typing, right, so what you'll see, you can put your name and the date, and then as you scroll down, it's going to have you fill in a table here, and then notice as you insert photo from activity 1, photo step 8, sample 1, sample 2, sample 3, sample 4. And so that's where you're actually going to include your pictures. So the reason I'm talking about this is because what students sometimes want to do is submit pictures to me individually in Moodle. And so that would mean you would have 4 different files here, including the Word document. I don't want that. What I want you to do is to include the picture into this document and submit the whole document as one file. That makes it so much easier for me to actually grade. And so if you're curious about how to insert pictures, let's see if I can get this to work here. What you can do is a number of things. Oh, let me close this. Well, that's not cooperating very well. Let me reopen this again and see what's happening. Right, enable editing. I must not have done that first time. So if you want to insert a picture, right, so I could just click on there and hit enter or hit return, right, and then I could just go up here and do insert, right, a picture, and then find maybe where I have some pictures, right? So let's just insert this picture of an isolation for bacteriology, right? And so notice it inserted the picture there. I can then resize it to whatever I want, and that's a nice picture. Obviously that's not a blood picture, but that's one way you can do it. The other way is I think you can just right click and insert. You could copy and paste and insert. It depends on if you're using Apple products or whatever, right? And so that's how you should submit pictures to me. And so those are the questions for the simulated. That's the questions for the Olden cards. This is actually where you'll submit the questions, right? So up here, these are just the Word documents that are the questions, and you'll actually submit them down here. And again, I give you some kind of detailed explanations here about how to maybe reduce the overall size of your files and things like that. But I think once you get into the run of it and get the feel for how I want things submitted, it's pretty easy to do. One of the things I would be careful of if I were you is don't wait until the last minute to do these labs. Some of these labs are pretty quick and you can knock them out in an hour. Some of them take much longer. And so if you wait until 11:30 on Friday night to do these labs, it's just not going to happen, right? I don't take late work, and to me a minute is just as late as 3 days. So late work is late work. I don't take that stuff because you should get out of the habit of submitting things late. Once you get into your programs, that stuff is not tolerated at all, and so you should just get in the habit of submitting stuff before due dates and not on due dates, right? Students think that due dates are the times that they should submit things. No. Due dates are the absolute latest possible time you can submit something, and so you should treat it that way. Right, and so that's the way we'll proceed through the rest of the semester. You'll have PDF instructions for lab, you'll have lab questions, and a place to submit those questions, right? So if I look ahead at the heart dissection, right, so there's the PDF instructions for how, there's the questions, and then there's the submission, right? And so we'll just proceed lockstep through every week, working just that way: PDF instructions, lab questions, and then submissions. And if you ever have any questions about what to do, or if you're confused about what to do, obviously let me know, and I'm more than willing to help.